Okay, we want to talk a little bit about how to use your graphing calculator. So in this class, a TI 83 or an 84 will be essential, and you may never have used one before, and that's okay. When you click on, it will go to what's called the home screen, and this is where you could do everything that you do on a simple calculator. You've got your add, your subtract, your multiply and divide buttons, so we could do 3 minus 5 and get -2. If you need to input a negative number, let's say we want to do -1 plus 3, you're going to use this little negative key down here, 1 plus 3, enter. When we want to do fractions, you're going to use the divided by key. So let's say we want to do something like 3/5. Okay, we can enter and get the decimal. Now let's say you have a decimal. Let's say you have something like 0.256 and you want to turn that into a fraction. If you hit math and the first thing says frac, enter, enter, and it will turn it into a fraction for you. So those are just some little helpful things. One other thing to keep in mind, if you want to square a negative number, make sure you put it in parentheses first. So if we wanted to do -5 squared, we put -5 in parentheses, and then this little x squared button will square it. Okay, so those are things we can do on the home screen, but what we really want to talk about here is how to use it to graph things. That's why it's called a graphing calculator. And if you just hit the graph button, oops, sorry, I've already got something in there. This will show you a blank graph if you haven't input anything yet. And what we'll often talk about is the graphing window, and that kind of means how zoomed in or zoomed out you are. And here, what's called the standard graphing window goes from -10 to +10 on the x-axis, and -10 to +10 on the y-axis. So we write this down, we use the notation -10, 10, so this is our x minimum, the minimum value on the x-axis, and our x maximum. And then we do y min, which here would be -10, and y max. Okay, and these little tick marks are going by 1, so it's called a scale of 1. And if you hit this window button, it will always show you where your window's at. So here, since we say -10, 10 for the x min and x max, and -10, 10 for the y min, y max, we know that's called the standard window. And if you ever need to get back to the standard window, you hit zoom, and then number 6 says Z standard. So you're going to hit zoom 6 if you ever need to get back to the standard window. Okay, now let's talk about how we put functions into our graphing calculator. So we have this function right here, 3x plus 8y equals 24, that we want to graph. And to put things in, we're going to hit the y equals button. So you always hit the y equals button. And we need our expression to be y equals something. So we're going to take 3x plus 8y equals 24, and we are going to rewrite it in terms of y. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract 3x from both sides. So that gives us 8y equals 24 minus 3x. It'd be perfectly okay to write that as -3x plus 24. And then to get y by itself, we need to divide everything by 8. So right up here, that gives us y equals 24 divided by 8 is 3, minus 3 divided by 8x. So in our graphing calculator now, we'll put 3 minus 3 divided by for fraction, 8x. Okay, and if we hit the graph button, we can actually see the graph. Okay, but sometimes we'll want to make our own graph using a table. And if we hit second table, okay, we can go and see values. It will make a table for us. And we can pick values to put into our table. So let's pick nice values. So at 0, we see that we have the point 0.03. So we can put the ordered pair 0, 3 on our graph. And if we go down a little further, we see that at 8, the y value is 0. So we can plot those 2 points, 0, 3. Unfortunately, 8's off my graph, 0. Okay, and then we know this is a straight line, but we can look at the graph and say, okay, we're going to connect these 2 points with a straight line. They go on forever. And that is one way that we can use our calculator to make the table and then to plot points and make our graph.